Boxing King Media in association with boxer Frank Smith. We're out here in Orlando, as I've pre-warned you. You've got loads of smoke, and who's the smoke for today?
No, it wasn't pre-arranged this. Let's just be honest. I know you sent the questions through for approval that we're allowed to talk about and all the matters that we're allowed to talk about, but it wasn't, I promise you. Whoever you want smoke for, providing they've wound me up, then you can have it.
Just for the record, I think everyone knows we never do that.
No, it was only banter, I promise.
Some media will be thinking, yeah, this is what they all do.
Well, I just said that to Andy, and Andy got really scared and was like, "Oh, I've got to delete it now. Now you think, you know." He was like, as if, have you ever run questions past me before?
Never ever.
Never, exactly. It's on the make it up on the spin up here.
Honestly speaking, I don't think I've ever had to do that for anyone. I don't think so.
Wink, wink.
Right, let's get on with it, man. Orlando, obviously, I spoke to Eddie a little bit about the fact that why we're in Orlando. It's obviously a unique location, and you guys are constantly saying you're global promoters, and you're still doing it globally.
Magic Kingdom, mate. That's why we're here. Magic Kingdom. No, it's great to be in Orlando. Another one ticked off the list. You know, you got Orlando this week. You know, we've got a big run of shows coming up all over the world, and that's the focus for us. The continued global expansion is the big thing, and we've actually got a big announcement coming tomorrow as well about something new. So that's exciting as well. So you'll see.
Fascinating. So I take it you're not planning to go to Disney. That's not why you're here.
No, I did want to go to Disney. I might actually go on Sunday. Might pop there before my flight. I do love Disney. I do love a bit of Disney, and I'll probably go and get like a cuddly... Do you know what they sell at Disney? I've got to be honest, because if anyone ever sees me, they sell these cuddly toys, right? They're the most comfortable things ever for travelling. My missus bought one. It's called Baymax or something. It's like, it belongs to a child, like as in, I shouldn't be using it, but I promise you, it's the most comfortable thing ever. So if you see me with it, I'm just explaining now why.
Someone's going to have some weird opinions about you. Exactly. Just listen to that.
With a Mickey Mouse. No, honestly... Mate, I've never felt something so comfortable in my life. I travel a lot, so don't judge me.
Definitely not. I tell you, whilst talking about Orlando, we're obviously sipping away in the Starbucks. You must have noticed, you find it mad that they ask for tips when you're paying for the Starbucks?
I know, 20% as well. But 20%'s the preset thing, then it's 25%.
And then when you score down 3 times, which is what I've been doing, where it says no tip, you get the most dirtiest look. Have you been doing that as well?
To be fair, I just don't want a dirty look. But it's the slowest Starbucks in the world here as well, isn't it? Like, as in, it takes about 10 minutes to get your Americano.
I thought that was because I wasn't tipping them, so it must just be a normal thing.
I'll give them 20% and I'm still getting, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, main event, Richard Hitchens, Zepeda. Richard, I remember last time he was asking for a step up. He's got a humongous step up. It's not an easy fight. Tough Mexican who's training with Manny Robles as well now. What is the plan for Richardson? If he wins Saturday, what is next? Because he seems like he's kind of ready to just kind of jump into that top 10.
Yeah, he's ready 100%. Obviously, look, we were focused on the Montana Love fight. That was obviously the fight previously we were looking for. But this is a tougher test against Zepeda.
What's happened to Montana Love?
He had an injury. You know, I think maybe next year he'll be back. You know, it's still an interesting fight down the road. But you know, focus on Richardson. You know, he's got, if he wins this, he's not far off from challenging for a world title. You know, he's a great character, and I think he's got a massive future, and that's why we're investing in him, because we believe in him. But it's a tough fight against Zepeda, you know, real tough fight, and I think, you know, it could be a 50-50. So excited for Saturday night's main event.
Do you think he's in that same mould as a bit like Devin Haney, where incredible skills, but fans kind of are thirsty for knockouts, and no matter how good he is, he might struggle to kind of break that mould of like just being a breakout star?
Look, I think, you know, he's going to improve over time. I think this is a fight. I think he looked really good in it, entertaining in his last fight in New York. That was back in June, I think it was.
Yeah, minus 15, I remember that.
Yeah, minus?
Minus 15? No, sorry, that was the earlier fight.
That was the one in February, I think, yeah. But I think he looked entertaining. I think he's got a massive future, and look, I think there's always improvements that can be made, but we do believe in him, and we believe, you know, we can do something special with him.
And then as we go down the order, I just spoke to Clifton Mitchell. He's not happy that you guys have took Sandy Ryan off co-main event and put her down to third up the card. Just the decision making into that, and is it justified that a non-title fighter goes in that co-main event?
I think it's always a balance between, look, Sandy Ryan and Jessica McCaskill is a brilliant fight. It's a brilliant fight. It's going to be a great fight, and the winner's going to go on to major fights as well. But I think it's always a balance between the commercial element as well, in terms of, we all know how big Conor Benn is, and the storyline that's been built up over time, and the time he's had out of the ring. So, it's people have different opinions, but I think we're still going to make a huge push in the McCaskill and Ryan fight. But I think we made a decision based on viewership, really.
And then talking to Conor Benn, obviously we covered a lot of it with Eddie yesterday, but we've seen today that the British Boxing Board, Rob Smith, has come out, done an interview with his friends at TalkSport, and basically said the fight shouldn't be happening. And obviously you've seen the comments, so you just response to that.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, the thing is, where does it end? Where does this end? The British Boxing Board of Control said that Conor had to deal with the situation with the UKAD situation, right? And that was handled by the NADP, the National Anti-Doping Panel, essentially the higher power when it comes to doping in the UK. They made a decision, and the board weren't happy with it. So what do you want? And then I saw on that interview when I think Jim asked, so if he wins the appeal, you're going to let him fight in the UK? And they didn't say, like, the reality is they can't stop it, right? But they didn't say, yeah, of course. He wins the appeal. He won the first time that we didn't want to listen to. He wins the appeal. He said, well, we have to look at it. Where does this end? And at the end of the day, the British Boxing Board of Control are not some government enlisted organisation. It's a limited company. You could set it up. You could set up the British Boxing Board of Control Part 2. And if you build a big enough brand and get enough people in, you could start that tomorrow.
You've seen King Association?
Yeah. But I'm not saying that's what we want to do. But at the end of the day, there comes a point where, look, this guy hasn't boxed for 18 months, right? He's cleared to box. So he went down the route you asked him to go down, then he was cleared, and his suspension was lifted. So there's nothing stopping him from fighting. Just the British Boxing Board of Control decided. It's just them.
Is there a relationship for that? Because that's the vibe I'm getting here. It seems like they're not happy that he's not getting the ban that they clearly want, so they're kind of just doing whatever they can to make it difficult for you guys. Is that what's happening?
Look, it's an individual matter. I don't feel like things are dealt with for Matchroom as a business.
I'm not sure about what he's wearing.
I love that number. Connor.
I'm not sure about what you're wearing.
What number that is. What's going on,
Listen, it's an American drip.
Hey. You right?
Stay away from him,
Yeah? You right? Okay. No, look, I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, we've had the best relationship we've ever had. But such is life. We go through these things. Hopefully it doesn't affect other things. I think they've dealt with this in a strange manner, like they've never dealt with anything in the time I've been involved in boxing. They seem to be more persistent with this than anything else that's ever happened in the sport. And I don't know the reason why, but it is what it is.
The press is going to start, so a couple of quick things I want to talk to you about. Have you guys heard anything from Skill Challenge? We've seen they've been pretty silent. Obviously, we've seen Turki Al-Sheikh doing a lot of moves in the boxing game now. He's obviously signed Joe Gallagher recently as well, but we've seen nothing from Skills Challenge. Have you guys had any contact? What are they saying?
No, I mean, I spoke to Prince Khalid a few days ago. It was his birthday. I dropped him a note. Look, we've had a great relationship with him over the years. As you know, we've delivered some major events together. As I understand it, boxing landscape in Saudi, as I think we mentioned before, is changing, and the people involved in it. And that happens. It's not the first time it's happened in the sport. It's not the last time it will happen. It doesn't take anything away from the relationship we had and will continue to have. We have a good relationship on a personal level. But we obviously want to deliver massive events, and it would be a pleasure, obviously, to work with a GEA seller, Turki Al-Sheikh as well. To deliver these events. So let's see. We want to deliver the biggest possible shows.
It appeared like there was a lot of gloating from obviously Frank, and you can't probably blame him, because I was seeing interviews in the past where Eddie's kind of gloated back saying, well, I'm the only one with the contacts in Saudi, I can only make fights there, and obviously because it's kind of reversed for this time period, can you blame them for obviously kind of putting that out there?
Look, I don't think it's ever going to be a case in Saudi. They want to deliver the biggest possible events. They're not tied to any organisation, just like they're not in any other sport they work in. I think they're going to be open to working with everybody to deliver the biggest possible shows. They don't. It's not like, I think that was the first time Frank Warren had met him the other week. Do you know what I mean? So, like, it's not like they've got this long-standing. But again, let's not get into the. Ultimately, they want to deliver the biggest possible shows, whether that's with Frank Warren, Bob Arum, or Tony Sims becomes a promoter next week and he represents the biggest fighter in the world. They'll deliver it with Tony Sims. Yeah, so like that's the reality of it. They want the biggest possible shows.
And the last thing I want to ask you about is, I'll just get straight to the question. Obviously, you said the other week you've made an offer for Adam Azim. Could you tell us how much that offer was for, and also was it just a move to potentially? Because you knew that they've got that European title fight, was it you did that knowing that he was already signed up for that?
I don't believe he was signed up at that time. The offer had zeros in it, a few zeros in it. It was more than he'd ever made, a lot more than he'd ever made. I believe even his management team agreed it was a decent offer. And it wasn't a publicity stunt. You know, I saw, they said, I don't think Dalton Smith even knew about it. He did know about it. It's not like we don't just do things as a joke. Like, we spoke to Dalton Smith, he said, yeah, let's do the fight, 100%, I'm up for that. And, you know, like, people say, oh, it's the wrong time for it. Who knows if it's the wrong time for it? How many fights have happened too late? How many fights have never happened? You know, maybe this is the time to do it. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll only find out in a year or two whether it gets bigger and bigger and becomes this super event. But in no way was it a PR stunt. You know, it was about delivering a great fight, and hence why we made an offer. I didn't even get a response on it. Just like I didn't even get a response when we tried to do the Tasha Jonas fight. Just like the purse bit. Like, at the end of the day, they've never sent us an offer and said, and we've hidden it away from our fighters. We want to do the best possible opportunity. We want to deliver the best possible opportunities for the fighters. But anyway, it might be that the fight's much bigger in a year. Might never happen. Let's see. Who knows?
Let's see. Well, I'm going to go start a protest for this 20% tip situation at Starbucks, and we'll leave it at that. I
mean, you've got a big fight on your hands, to be honest. But if you start it, I will not be joining in. I will just pay my 20%. Because they do anything with your coffee in there, mate. You don't want dodgy coffee, do you?
No, you don't. Thank you. Cheers, Frank.